I picked up this book because I read it on Substack. I forgot whose. I think it might have been Adam Grant or somebody who recommended top 10 books for 2025 or 2026. I forget, whatever it was. So I looked it up on Amazon. It had great reviews, so that's why I picked it up. I was thinking more in the lines of, The Power of No or something like that. A couple of different books I read about no. And it sort of is that, but it was more about defiance or defy conventions or defy when things are difficult to defy, essentially, or it might not be convenient, and following your inner thoughts or your core belief system or core who you think you are kind of deal. That was more of this book, and which is great advice, which I agree with. There are cases where sometimes you can get caught up in not able to say no when you know you should, or you should speak out. I don't find myself doing that that much because I guess I am more of a outspoken guy anyway. Like I say it like it is, but there are times even now, sometimes I get caught up in it and like, oh, why didn't I say something? Or why didn't I just say no? For I felt wrong, but sometimes I go with the flow and anyway. But her whole thing was Dr. Sunitha Shah, was that. It was about, how there are stages, how 5 ways you start with defiance. It doesn't have to be like a loud thing. It can be silent thing, so on and so forth. That doesn't like totally look like you're bending the convention, whatever. So there are how different ways you can do it. Personally, though, I thought she was just stuck on her whole, racism and all this stuff because I guess she faced racism when she was a kid back in England. But anyway, seems like very one side leaning political defiance opinions, while there are some good neutral ones that everybody can agree on, I think. But it seemed like she's totally heavily focused on social causes type of, mainly, I would say, than really like giving up concrete examples of, or many cases. I mean, there are so many cases of how one can defy not just one side, the other side, both sides. There are different ways people can do it. But she kind of got me to think how a person grows up and their surroundings and everything kind of, even though you might go be a psychologist, whatever, you're still stuck in that past, which I do. I mean, no matter how much self-awareness I get or whatever, it's an automatic. Things happen automatically. You have that viewpoint, and it's not something you can control many times. It's just automatic. It's your experiences or your programming that automatically will trigger certain things. So anyway, that's something I kind of started seeing in her book, is like she constantly focuses on certain social aspects. Seems like that she faced when she was a child or even growing up, which kind of probably shaped her experiences, and now the book and so on and so forth. So in that sense, I really didn't enjoy this book. I didn't like it. It was too much political opinions, stuck in the past kind of deal for me. I do not like books that, other than historically learning from them kind of books, what history tells us or what mythologies, whatever tells us for the present and so on. And what things went wrong that we can correct in the future, fine. But when it focuses too much on one side only, not the other side, it doesn't sit with me. So overall, I I mean, personally, I wouldn't recommend, the book. It seemed just totally one-sided. Very few instances where it seemed like neutral or maybe leaning the other side kind of deal. It basically seemed like political and social issues she's talking about Defy, not much on work or like professional business wise, giving more examples of that. I think would have helped, would have been great. Like if you're in a business, how do you like do that and do the things? That's what I was kind of thinking it might be also. Like apart from social issues and all, I would understand many of the examples are good to have in there to exemplify how defiant can be in social issues. But just like that was basically her sole concentration. Evidently, she's in business, speaking and all engagement. I just didn't see that. Anyway, if you want to read it, I guess. I would say I do not recommend this book. I didn't like this book. I didn't like the way the topics went on. I would say 20% maybe I liked it, 20%. And there were great points about how defiance can be on, it doesn't have to be loud and, whatever, shouting from the rooftop type of defiance. There can be, ways you can change the things in your life and professional business life. But yeah, just for me, when people get stuck in victimhood type of things, it just doesn't work well for me. I mean, for example, she's Indian, I'm Indian, so I grew up differently, probably because I'm back in India. She grew up in England. So maybe she faced racism and all, but to think that everybody does, like maybe Indian origin faces that, it's just not true, right? Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying nobody ever said any racist words. To me, everybody has prejudices. You just can't think about that stuff only. Then you get stuck. Then you are constantly in that separation mode. Anyway, I'm rambling on about that. I'll leave that alone. But bottom line for me, I won't recommend.